Are you feeling stuck in your business, professional, or personal life? Or are you struggling to find purpose and direction? Imagine having a clear sense of direction, achieving your goals, and living a fulfilling life. Joy Onyesoh Coaching Consult is here to help you. We will work with you to identify your strengths, overcome obstacles, and develop a personalized plan to achieve your dreams. With our coaching and consulting services, you will gain clarity, confidence, and the tools you need to succeed. Do not let fear, lack of clarity, or doubt hold you back any longer. Take the first step towards achieving your goals and living your best life. Contact Joy Onyesoh Coaching Consult today. Joy Onyesoh Coaching Consult, empowering you to reach your full potential. Call, SMS, or WhatsApp +234 704 229 1171. Or you can visit our website www.joyonyesohcoachingconsult.com. Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Friday Night Hangout. Woo! I'm so excited to hang out with you tonight. And my name is Joy Onyesoh. I'm the convener of the Friday Night Hangout, the hostess of the Friday Night Hangout, your joy giver every Friday night at 7 p.m. And I want to specially welcome you to season 21, episode 233. Oh my goodness, the train is moving. I want to thank you for staying tuned with us. I want to thank you for making sure this, Friday Night Hangout happens every Friday. Without you, there will be no us right here. So welcome once again to an amazing episode. The conversation still continues this October. And if you're just joining in, I want to see your hashtag TGIF. I want to see the hashtag Friday Night Hangout with Joy Onyesoh. Hashtag thank God. Hashtag whatever you feel like. How do you feel tonight? Just put it in the comment section, okay? The energy is high tonight, and I hope you feel the vibes. I'd always love to know how you're doing. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome. This is your safe tribe. This is Friday Night Hangout, where we network, we have topical conversations, and we'll share practical strategies and tools that can enable you to grow on a personal and professional level. So this is your empowerment space, and we do that from a very, very fun perspective. And tonight we're going to be having a conversation on overcoming adversity, right? Strategies for resilience. Overcoming adversity, strategies for resilience. This is very apt because I do know that a lot is happening. I experience them in my own space, and I do know that we all have our share of one thing happening. But that is not enough to take away our joy. That's not enough to kill our happiness. That is not enough to steal our peace. And so I just want to encourage someone tonight that if you're watching me or you're here live in the studio, you're watching the replay, this is a call for you to just say, you know what, I've got this and I'm going to make sure it works. Good evening. I see you, Ozioma. I see you, DJ Flux, the DJ in the house. Ozioma Teachers Consult. Thank you so much for joining in. Welcome. Put in the comment section hashtag TGIF. Ozioma says very apt. Yes. This is one topic, like so many others, that I've just been looking forward to having a conversation on, because there's a whole lot happening. When I look at my inbox, conversations I have, coaching sessions I have with my clients, even my personal journey, it's just so obvious that a lot is happening. Now, let's try and unpack some of these conversations. We're talking about overcoming adversities and then, building resilience as we go along. But I want to unpack adversity. When we say adversity, what are we really talking about? Now, when you hear adversity, it's referring to any situation, any circumstances that is challenging, is difficult, and it's so difficult, to the extent that it affects or impacts your life goals, your journey. It takes away your joy, your peace. It alters a number of things in your life, and that's why it's called adversity. Now, what happens most times is when adversity hits us, if you're not careful, if you don't have the right support system or strategies in place, you go down and you stay down. But our conversation tonight is to let us know that we can overcome adversity and we have what it takes to stay resilient. Now, when we're talking about resilience, what are we talking about? We're talking about your ability to spring up no matter what life throws at you. So when life throws you lemon, your ability to turn that lemon into lemonade is called resilience. That's your resilience muscle. Now, we all do have that muscles, but the extent to which we're able to use it is the extent to which we're able to build our knowledge, the extent to which we're able to, get prepared and put things in place that can help us to beat life's pressure. So I would always say this, that no matter how well you are prepared, life will happen. So this is not if it will happen, it's more about when will it happen. And that's why this conversation is up. For some of us, we're going through it right now. For some of us, we're almost at the end of the dark tunnel. For some, we're just starting the journey. But this is saying, listen, there is hope. So what are some of the things that can cause adversity or bring about adversity, challenges, struggles in our life? One, it could be from personal circumstances. So the loss of your health, the loss of a loved one, struggle, hardship, pain, all of these are things that could, bring adversity. You find yourself in a difficult, challenging situation. And some could also be environmental factors. If you follow the news, there was a time in Texas, they had flooding. Now, we had some people, they lost their lives. Some people's homes were swept away. Even here in Nigeria, we've had that kind of flooding, right? We call it the climate change happening right now. So a number of things are happening. In Lagos, the same thing. So this could bring on difficult situation. If, for instance, there was a photo I saw on Facebook where in Lekki, people were using canoe to cross, right? It was a very horrible photo. In fact, I felt so sad just watching that. And this is natural disaster, what could happen with flooding. And you can never tell when it would be your turn, as long as you're living in that environment. And so when it happens, some people's home are flooded, they lose their valuables, some will lose their lives. There's a whole lot of things going on. So that could bring some challenging situation. It could impact on the person's journey, the person's goals, and it's no fault of the person, really. Now, another thing that could happen is social or cultural reasons. We do know that women face a level of discrimination in the society. So perhaps, you're working in a space where they discriminate against you because you're a woman, or they discriminate against you because of your ethnicity, or they discriminate against you because you are a man, or because you're a certain kind of man, right? Because both male and female were not homogeneous, men and women were not a homogeneous group. So when you face such discrimination, such bias, it could bring about a whole lot of alteration in your goals. It could impact on a whole lot of things, right? And that becomes a challenge that you have to deal with. So when you see people going through adversity, going through challenges, it will fall into any one of these brackets. Now, there's also that of emotional or psychological struggle. This is when we go through anxiety, depression, right? I think it was last week we spoke about anxiety. When you have such anxious, worrisome thoughts that it impacts on your lifestyle, it impacts on your well-being. You get so scared. You just lose control. The mental health is real, emotional disturbances. So people are going through a lot. And if you're not in that space, you won't understand. And you feel, why is this person acting up? And a number of things can create that kind of anxiousness. It could be your health. Thank you so much, Ozioma. She says, even discrimination based on your health status. That's it. And all these things have impact on the individual. We could go on, but I'm just sharing some of these examples so you could situate yourself or your struggle in that. I have my own personal experience as well. I recall when almost 20 years ago, I had my daughter with special needs, and as she was growing, she wasn't meeting certain milestones. Even at the hospital, when we go for immunization, you feel bad the way they will question you as if you're not doing enough as a mom. Or why they don't even want to understand that she had osteogenesis imperfecta, brittle, because it was not something they were familiar with. So when it gets to time to go for immunization, excuse me, I get worried because of some of the conversations that will happen, and whether I like it or not, it tugged at my heart. It made me feel sad. And so some of these things have a way of impacting on how you show up. At some point in our life, I was even feeling ashamed to come out with her because I didn't want to go through all those questions, people staring at me and my daughter and wondering. And some people will say a lot of negative, hurtful things as well. So when you're going through challenging situations, there are a whole number of things happening. And the key thing here is impacting on you, is impacting on your journey of becoming. And sometimes it slows you down or it distracts you. But tonight we are going to look at ways of overcoming all of this. How do we overcome all of this? How do we keep strong? How do we stay resilient? How do we spring back no matter what life throws at us? Not too long ago in Lagos, we saw the fire outbreak that happened, and most stores were burned down. So people had already stopped for Christmas. So you can just imagine those traders what they'll be going through now. Some of them have put in a whole lot to stock and get ready for Christmas, and then their shops or their stores were gutted with fire. That's a whole lot. That's on another level. No one prays for adversity. No one prays that it will happen. So it's on a different level. And yes, the first thing we need to do is to acknowledge the situation and acknowledge your emotions. You can't run away from it. If you do, you're just living in denial, and it worsens the situation. So when you're going through adversity, it's not easy. But one of the things you need to come to terms with, if it's a loss, you need to come to a space where you admit that I'm going through this, and give yourself the permission to grieve or to mourn over that loss. That's what makes you human. You're human. And emotions is part of what makes you a human being. So don't try to form Superwoman or Superman, and then things are happening, you're just killing it. You don't want to give yourself the permission to go through it. So the first thing to do is accept that situation, go through it, so that you can come to a space where you're asking yourself, what next? So the next would now be for you to start thinking of ways of feeding yourself with positive thoughts. How do you reframe what has happened and reframe it to an extent that it becomes opportunity for growth? Because this is where the game changer occurs. You being able to reframe that negative situation. And it's not a walk in the park, I tell you, because I've been there, not once, not twice, not thrice. I've been that road. And what the enemy would always show you is the negative things. Sometimes it takes over your whole system. You can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't drink. You're just feeding on those negative thoughts. You're feeding on the negative things that have happened. And you know what happens, right? The more you think about it, the more you focus on those negative situations, the more it expands. The more you will see a whole lot of scenarios that will make you feel so sad. And that's why you need to struggle. It's a struggle to reframe that negative situation to positive things happening. And so how can you do this? Now, you have to understand or know yourself to an extent. What lifts you up? One of the things that works well for me is worship. I love worship songs, gospel songs that uplifts my spirit. Now, music has a way, Christian music, worship music gets at me. It opens my channel of conversation. It opens my thought process. It opens my creativity. So find what works for you. For some of us, it may be meditation. For some of us, it may be, music as well. For some of us, it may be studying the scripture. For some of us, it may be just having conversation. Sometimes when you talk about something, you get clarity. When we vent, you get clarity. So don't deny yourself that opportunity of doing that. And then you need to have support system. You don't need to wait for your day of adversity before you know who you can count on. People need to earn the right to be in your inner space. So you need to know, this person's value aligns with mine. God created us to be interdependent, right? So don't live life doing life yourself. No, that is not a smart strategy to go through life. Even if it's one or two persons, find someone or some people who you can trust, who can hold your hands, and who you can be sure that when you need a shoulder to lean on, they'll be right there with you. Sometimes journaling helps, right? Sometimes just journaling your thoughts, what you feel, whatever comes to your mind, you just journal. It helps you to, have clarity. All of these are things you could just try, adapt, and find out what works for you. Onyesoh says, yes, turning the mess to a message. That's it. It's chaos. It's pain, but you need to accept the reality, and then you say, what next? How can I find my silver lining in this dark cloud? And that's the truth. In every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. I recall 15 years ago, that was 2010, when I encountered a major business failure and I lost a lot. All I did have was my mind, and all I did have was my knowledge, And so I'll ask myself, what do I have in my hands? That was my silver lining. That was my silver lining. That was how I started consultancy. So I just started consulting. That's how I started my consultancy firm. That's how I started it full time. 2010. I had been doing it, by the way, but I formalized it in 2010 because I was in a situation where I lost everything. I didn't have anything. And what I now got to a point where I asked myself, Joy, what do you have? What is in your hands? And what was in my hands then was my mindset, was the knowledge I've acquired and the experience, which are assets, by the way. So sometimes you may be looking at tangible assets, but you have a lot of intangible assets going for you. So until you give yourself the permission to really think, reflect, it's difficult to find what is in your hands. And so what I found in my hands was that experience, that knowledge, and the growth mindset, and I was willing to start small. Then I also had support system who were able to open doors for me. I said, I want to go to this organization. I need consultancy here. This is what I can do. This is what I can do. So you need to sit down and look at what it is that you can do. So don't go into that pity party. Yes. And that's why I said the first thing to do is x-ray the situation, accept it. If you need to grieve, and then grieve is a process, it's not a state, right? So it comes. Sometimes in the process of doing things, it will hit you again, and then you fall back, but you stand up. That's why we're talking about resilience. So when that pain comes, just remembering that, okay, I can keep moving. Hope. That's the audacity of hope, that, I have something I can leverage to keep moving. I have some people in my corner I can hold on to keep moving. And that's why you cannot do life alone. It's an error to attempt to do life alone, right? So there are a number of things, and these are all the strategies to keep you resilient. Your positive thought is one thing. You cannot afford to dwell in negativity. Gratitude is a door opener. Gratitude. At least be thankful for life. If there's nothing else, Father, I'm alive. And because there is life, there is hope. So once you have life, you can rebuild. You can start over again. Give yourself the opportunity to reset. You're not in competition with anybody. You're not in any race. So if it happens, start all over again. So it is the attitude we give to failures, the meaning we give to failures and mistake is what makes the difference. So when you see failure or mistakes as, you see it as the end of the road, and that's where the problem comes. But if you see and understand that mistakes and failures or setbacks are opportunities or building block for success, when they hit you, you start looking for the silver lining. If there's nothing else you take out of our conversation tonight, please, can you walk away with silver lining? You know, when I went through mine, practically, I would be telling myself, Joy, I say it out loud. When I'm crying, I'll be saying, Joy, where is your silver lining? I'm talking to myself. I'm not kidding you. I'm saying, Joy, find the silver lining. There's a silver lining. There's a silver lining. So it became but I need to find it. And there's a mindset to find that silver lining. Rosemary says, that's been in my mouth since today. Honestly, I'm grateful. We thank God. There's a silver lining. Where is the silver lining? And let me tell us something else. Yeah. Now, when it looks as everything is scattering, everything is falling apart, this is another opportunity for you to know, good, these things are falling apart. It's an opportunity to grow again. It's an opportunity to rebuild. It's an opportunity to change things. So instead of you saying that things are falling apart, is scattering, say, okay, this is an opportunity to re-strategize. So that's why I say reframing is very important. When you learn how to reframe situations, you know, it becomes empowering. Reframe negative situations into positive things that can be empowering. It's not easy. No, I'm not saying it's easy. And it takes time. It takes practice. It takes commitment for you to reframe negative things. We're all human. When negative situation or challenging situation or adversity hits us, the first thing is that sometimes we can shout, oh my God. Sometimes you can cry. You can say, well, that's okay. It's all part of it. But the key message today is, do not stay there. Find your silver lining. Do not stay stuck there. Find your silver lining. Okay? So I want to start thinking right now, write it down. What works for you? What are some of the strategies? And please put it in the chat box, because we have other people who are reading and they're going to be picking up lessons from this as well. One of the beauty of the Friday Night Hangout tribe is that we share. So we just put it in the chat box and don't go anywhere. We're going to use the comment section to be putting out your thoughts. So what works for you when things go wrong? Have you ever gone through any challenging situation? House is the learning ground, yeah? And that's why I say this is a safe space. We are all here to learn. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take this short advert and I'm going to be right back with you. So use the comment section. Just let's share with us what works for you. How have you gone through challenging situations? How have you kept your head high above the storm? And I'll be right back with you.
This is a call to accomplished women executives, leaders, and influencers. Are you feeling stuck, uncertain, or unfulfilled in your personal or professional life? Do you yearn for clarity, purpose, and a sense of direction? If yes, then join us for the Rediscover Tribe Retreats 2026 in Zanzibar from January 26th to 30th, and embark on a transformating journey to reignite your passion, purpose, and spark. Reclaim your clarity, reignite your spark, and thrive in your new season. This exclusive retreat is designed to help you let go of the doubts and fears that hold you back and discover a clear path forward. It helps you to discover your evolving purpose and passion. Explore your values, strengths, and passions, and align them with your personal and professional goals. Connect with like-minded women who inspire and will hold you accountable and also uplift you. Build meaningful relationships with fellow women leaders who understand your challenges and aspirations. Our retreat offers a safe, supportive, and inspiring environment where you can reflect on your experiences and gain new insights. Develop strategies to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. It also helps you to connect with women, who share your values and aspirations. What to expect at the Retreat 2026? Thought-provoking workshops and discussions, guided meditations and reflective exercises, meaningful connections with like-minded women, opportunities for personal growth and development, and time to catch your breath, to rest. We understand how much rest means to busy professionals. We have limited slots. Do not miss this opportunity to transform your life and leadership. Register now. Get ready to spark your greatness. Join us in Zanzibar, January 26th to 30th, and reignite your spark.
Yes, welcome once more, and reignite your spark. That's one way of staying resilient, actually, because we understand the power of community, and that's why we have created this Rediscover and Thrive retreat. Recall that I said some ways of overcoming adversity is, having a support system, networking, joining a community. So Rediscover and Thrive retreat is happening next year, January 26th to 30th in Zanzibar. Zanzibar is in Tanzania. It's going to be an amazing, amazing time where you take time to rest, you take time to reconnect with your inner self and reflect on all that you need to change or you need to do moving forward. Now, that's the conversation we've been having, at the onset. We said adversity will happen, challenges will come, struggles will happen. So we're not taking that away, but all we're saying tonight is look for your silver cloud in silver lining in the dark cloud. It could by way of reframing your mindset, by way of finding a support system, by way of joining a community like the Rediscover and Thrive retreat community, so you just need to find out what works for you, listening to uplifting music and all of that. So the key thing here is you're more than that adversity. Do not allow it to knock you down. Now, one key thing I want to talk about before we call it a wrap is shame. Some of us allow shame of what has happened to eat deep within us and we feel ashamed. I want to tell you today that when adversity strikes, it's not your fault. Recall we talked about a number of things. Yes, there could be some that is personal, but we have a whole lot where you do not have control over, right? Environmental, social, emotional, and all of that. But don't allow shame to make you stay down when you should be finding your silver lining. So this is me tonight encouraging you that when challenges come, when adversities hit you, please do know you have a choice to make. And that choice is to find your silver lining. We've shared a number of strategies that can help you find your silver lining. So if for nothing else, take the strategy away. I will find my silver lining in every dark cloud. Now, Ifeoma Kurume says, I meditate on the word of God when I go through challenges. I also have a wonderful inner circle of friends that hold my hands and walk through the challenges with me. Beautiful. And that's what we're talking about. Find what works for you. She has talked about support system, meditation, and prayers, right? Joy says, what works for me is switching to gratitude, meditating on how I actually survived the previous challenge. So gratitude and replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts, the magic for me. Amazing. And this is what we're talking about. Divine says, whenever I face challenges, 1, I cry. That is it. We said, connect with your emotions and let it out. Don't bottle it inside of you. 2, I review. 3, I seek advice. 4, I still reflect and cry as well. 5, I re-strategize. And 6, I bounce back. I love this. I love this. I love this. I bounce back. So you may feel, oh, she cries. But see, she's resilient. She bounces back, right? And that's what I want us to do. Ozioma says, there's always a silver lining, Ozioma. Holding on to the word of God works for me. Fellowship, hearing other people's testimony and worship works for me. This is what we're talking about. Amazing, amazing, amazing conversations. Indeed, Ifeoma says, indeed, one cannot go through life alone. And this is where I want to pause this conversation tonight. I do not want you to go through life alone. If you're here and you don't have a friend, and you don't have a sister, you don't have a brother, you don't have a support system, I want to encourage you. Pray to God to send someone to you. Divinely look for someone who can hold your hands I speak from my point of faith because that's what has worked for me, and you can see it has worked for others as well. Key into your faith and let your faith be that carries you through those challenges. You cannot stay down, no matter what it is. Turn that disadvantage into an advantage. Do not allow life to knock the air out of you. You have what it takes. You are worthy of that manifestation, and you can do everything through Christ that strengthens you. And so before I run off, I want to remind you to join us next week. We're going to be having a conversation on mindfulness and self-care for mental well-being. Mindfulness and self-care for mental well-being. You don't want to miss this at all. And also you can click on our YouTube channel, Friday Night Hangout, and please join our YouTube channel, share this conversation, share this link. And we also have a page on Telegram called Joy Onyesoh Coaching Consult. If you're not on that Telegram page, you miss. So I want you to please right now go right there, join the Telegram conversation, Telegram community, Joy Onyesoh Coaching Consult. We're going to put the links of all of this in the comments, the YouTube, the Telegram, and I want you to just click join and share. And from myself and my team is thank you so much. It's been an amazing conversation. Please remember to smell the roses. Remember the audacity of your hope. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Friday, where we continue our conversation on self-care and mindfulness. And don't forget to sign up and register for the Rediscover and Thrive Retreat, Zanzibar. See you in Zanzibar. Bye for now. I love you.
Are you feeling stuck in your business, professional, or personal life? Or are you struggling to find purpose and direction? Imagine having a clear sense of direction, achieving your goals, and living a fulfilling life. Joy Onyesoh Coaching Consult is here to help you. We will work with you to identify your strengths, overcome obstacles, and develop a personalized plan to achieve your dreams. With our coaching and consulting services, you will gain clarity, confidence, and the tools you need to succeed. Do not let fear, lack of clarity, or doubt hold you back any longer. Take the first step towards achieving your goals and living your best life. Contact Joy Onyesoh Coaching Consult today. Joy Onyesoh Coaching Consult, empowering you to reach your full potential. Call, SMS, or WhatsApp +234 704 229 1171. Or you can visit our website www.joyoyesohcoachingconsult.com.